Hello, everybody, and welcome to our next group channeling session where I'll be channeling Source, Oneness, all that is, you and me and all that is, because all that is Source. And I'm joined by Patreon members. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
All right, so without further ado, I'm going to go now into trance and bring forth Source. Dear ones, do you feel the love within you? Do you feel that connection with others, with other life force beings, with the elements, with the cosmos? Do you feel the resonance? That resonance that you feel is you, feeling you. A memory that you can't quite put your finger on. It is that memory, that recognition of yourself in another, of another breathing, living element. It may not be represented as living on this dimensional plane of existence of reality, but understand that all elements, all life force is you. Understanding that you are one with all that is, we would say, is represented in different dimensions, represented in different contrasting variations. And for some of you, this might be a challenging concept for you to understand. So at this stage of your remembrance journey as a collective, we choose to assist you, igniting that remembrance within you, the oneness with your brothers and sisters, because the oneness remembrance with you and all that is, there, we would say, is represented in different stages of your evolution. To understand that you are one with all that is throughout all the cosmos and all the different representations of you can be somewhat jarring, something that you may not be able to fully comprehend at this stage of your awareness. But what you can understand and what you can embody and what you are already practicing but perhaps are not aware of it is your oneness state with all others, with all your human brothers and sisters. Once you are at a stage of awareness, of oneness with your brothers and sisters, that remembrance becomes activated with the oneness, with the elements of Gaia. For you are one with the planet and you are of the planet. But to come to this remembrance understanding is for you to understand other aspects of oneness according to your frequency. Your frequency, we would say, matches in alignment to your state of awareness. And that state of awareness is manifested in accordance to the collective mind, to the collective understanding of what it is to be one. So we know there are many of you who have a higher understanding, let's just say, of what it is to be one. But because the collective still sees duality, still experiences separation, this is manifested in a collective frequency because you are one, and understand that you are of the collective, which means you are influenced by the collective. These flashes, experiences that you experience of who you are, we would say on a higher understanding, on a higher frequency wave, exists because you are multidimensional. And those of you who have this elevated state of awareness are those that are to be the light for others, to lead the way, to help assist others in their times of perceived darkness, when they feel separated from themselves, from reality. Understand that the cause of suffering for humanity is that loss of connection with who you truly are. So you see, if you remember who you are, if you remember your oneness state, if you remember your innate connected state with all that is, that experience of suffering becomes transmuted, dissipates. It is the contrast, it is the perception of duality where suffering exists, where darkness exists, where the feeling of being not worthy exists, where the victim and the perpetrator exists. Can you see? When duality, when the perception of duality subsides and softens, because yes, you are still attached to this concept. So yes, you can soften this. You can assist in this transformation. And when you do this, when you remember more of your connected oneness state, you will find there is less suffering within your own experience, less pain, because you know that you are one with all those around you. You let go of that judgment that you place on conditions or others that you perceive to cause you pain and suffering. And when you change those perceptions, you then understand all is a reflection of the greater frequency. It is that higher understanding of why you are here. It is a greater understanding of these soul tests, we would say in your terminology. Catalysts to assist you in remembering who you truly are in oneness. For at times, we would say the catalyst is wanted because it assists you in searching for those answers. It guides you into the inner journey, into your heart center. It is that journey inwards where you look at the belief systems, where you practice compassion, where you surrender and let go of the pain. And this is a process. And this letting go of the pain and the trauma and the hurt is also a part of the ascension process in your terminology. For you, my dear ones, are elevating your consciousness. You are remembering more of who you are. To do that, you are letting go of all those old pains, those old traumas, those limiting beliefs, and you have called this the purging. All these, we would say, density emotions within you, limiting emotions, limiting perspectives that keeps your energy field small and attached to duality is being purged, is coming up to the surface for you to acknowledge it, for you to heal it, understand in a higher perspective. There is no need for healing because all is perfection, but because the collective is attached to duality, then healing is a method that assists in the process of healing in the duality realm of reality. So what can you do when you are in suffering? Whether that is physical, emotional, or you feel disconnected. We have talked about connecting your heart, connecting with your heart with others. It is connection. When you feel disconnected to self, you are then disconnected to your power. You then place attachments and importance to others having more power over you. But understand that all the power that you seek and all the love that you seek is within you, is reflected as you. This is your innate state of being. But you attribute power to others. You attribute power to people, to things outside of you. But it is all within you. So it is the journey of oneness. It is the journey of remembering and consciously practicing those perceptions that all others are you, that nobody has power over you, that nobody has more power than you. Regardless of the state of awareness in a perceived individual, everyone is equally advanced. Everyone is equally powerful because you are one. Yes, individuals have individualized soul missions here, life purposes that you call these, soul contracts. And it might be perceived that this person is far along their path compared to you, but you do not know why they are here. So let go of the comparisons and let go of the judgments. You do not know why others are here exploring their reality in such a way. Your focus is in the here and now. Your focus is on your own inner journey, but also extending that to your embraced physical reality, for you to become the observer of whenever you are triggered by negative emotion, but also being able to embrace the joy and embrace the love. For so many of you, you are fearful of joy, you are fearful of love because you do not believe you are worthy of it. Some of you perceive that you need to be in suffering to feel powerful. But understand, you are also here to experience joy. So what joy is in your reality? Are you limiting yourself from exploring joy? Do you perceive joy can only come from certain conditions, from certain experiences? Or are you allowing yourself to go with the flow of the universe, to embrace new adventures, new conditions, and to allow that joy to find you? But when joy finds you, it's just a recognition of the joy that's already within you, the love that is within you, that feeling of bliss, that feeling of connection. It is already there. You do not have to find it. It's about you allowing it to come to you, to be remembered by you. It is there within you. So what is your passion? What is your joy? Do you have joy? Do you have passion? Or do you find yourself passionless? And you might ask, I don't have a passion. Where can I find my passion? What brings you joy? What brings you to a state of innocence, to a childlike play? Understand that for many of you, you take your life far too seriously. You are here to experience joy. You are here to feel that felt experience of freedom. Freedom is your innate state of being, yet for many of you, do not perceive yourself to be free. Joy is that emotion that correlates in frequency to freedom. If you want to experience freedom, experience joy. Search for ways that brings you joy. And for you to find that joy is for you to surrender, to allow the universe to take you to places where you experience joy, where perhaps you do not choose to look before. For understand that the collective is conditioned to search for joy in certain places, to search for passions in certain places. Society has told you, perhaps, it is unwise for you to explore certain activities, certain conditions. And all these relate also to your perceived sense of identity, So you see, once you can let go of your sense of identity and your place in society, so to speak, you free yourself up to explore more experiences. Love is who you are. Joy brings you back to that felt experience of freedom. And along the way, yes, you'll go through little bumps, little obstacles. But as you do the work, as you can see the love even within those bumps will become lessened. Those bumps will no longer become obstacles, just little pebbles along the way. But it takes conscious practice for you to see the joy, for you to see the love in all things, in all conditions, in all experiences. And we have talked about the practice of acceptance. Acceptance is a frequency of neutrality, yet it's also when you put your felt experience of love into it, when you engage your heart energies, it starts you on we would say the vibration of love. It is at we would say the base level of love. And you can increase that with gratitude, and that increases the frequency, increases the expansion effects, expands your frequency even further. Gratitude opens the heart. And you may not be able to be in a point of gratitude for things that catalyze you so, but can you practice compassion? Compassion is also an act of oneness in action because you recognize the other. And although you might not understand behaviors and actions, you send love anyway. You be the love anyway for another. So there are many ways to open your heart and connect here. But we would say that for the collective in the past years, you've gone through many catalyzing events, both individually and collectively, because you wanted expansion. And some of you have forgotten to explore the joy because there have been so many triggering effects, so much purging effects, where so much of the limiting program have come to the surface for you to transmit that you've forgotten how to enjoy life. So understand that the collective has done so much work in letting go of what is no longer needed. Congratulations, you have done the hard yards, so to speak. Congratulate yourself. Understand that from here on, yes, of course, there will be certain obstacles and certain challenges that will align to the collective contracts and perceived individual collective soul contracts here, depending on what you chose to explore here. But understand from now on, it gets easier. But understand for it to get easier asks you to really focus on your beliefs and your perceptions. It does not come magically, for it still asks you to consciously shift your perspectives, consciously let go of conditionings that limit you, and consciously asks you to surrender to the flow of all that is. Surrendering to the flow of all that is surrendering to you, to the highest you, to the highest expression of all that is. And letting the universe guide you where you need to go. And when you can let go and surrender, you will experience this joy. Your passions will come to you with more clarity because you're surrendering to the magic of you, to the love of the universe. All you need to do is let go and let your higher you guide you along the way. You are here to experience joy, to experience love. It is only you that's stopping you from you experiencing this. The more you surrender, the more you let go of control, the conditionings that have limited you. The more you experience this joy, the more you experience this freedom. For this is your innate state of being. Do you choose joy? Do you choose freedom? Or do you choose to perceive that there were others still controlling you? Are you still perceiving that you are a victim in this reality? Or that you have no control over your reality? That others are controlling it for you? Understand that everything in your reality is for you. And once you can see this, you are able to then let go of this paradigm of victim mentality, and is here where you can experience true freedom and true joy. Freedom is a state of mind. And when you can align to that state within you, that perception within you, then of course your manifested conditions will reflect this. Which dimension do you choose to explore? The choice is yours. There is no wrong and there is no right. You can choose to explore suffering. That is up to you. But we know you prefer to explore joy and love, the highest potential of who you are in this expression of reality. Do you see the sun shining within you? Do you see the light emerging within you? Yes, for these recent years, for some of you, it has been quite dark, quite contrasting. Many of you are becoming more sensitive to everything that's happening in the collective and everything that's happening within you. You're becoming activated because you are needed at this time. You are needed to be the light for others. It is time now for you to bring forth your light in more overt ways, whether that is just an inspired conversation with a friend, or whether that is for you to do something on a greater level. You are God creators here. You are limitless in every way. It is only you standing in your way. If you choose to let go of attachments to your perceived sense of identity, let go of who you think you are in this society, let go of the labels. And open your heart to you. Allow yourself to feel the love. Open yourself up to receive love. For many of you, you block this. Because some of you have been hurt. Traumas, whether it is in this life or other lives, some of you do not feel worthy to open your heart and for you to receive that abundant love. But understand that you are worthy of receiving all the love in the universe, all the abundance in the universe, or the power, the limitless power in the universe, because this is your innate state of being. And you are here to honor your innate state of being, regardless of your conditions, regardless of your place in society. You are worthy, for you are God. You are all that is. So the more you remind yourself of how worthy you are, the more you can elevate your awareness, the more you can open your heart, the more you can let go, and the more you can surrender to the flow of the universe, and the more you can receive the frequency and the felt experience of joy and freedom. Do you choose this? What do you choose? That choice is yours. And it is with such love that we come through to remind you of what you already know, but perhaps lay forgotten within your consciousness. And we are here to let's just say, ignite those memories of your divine oneness self. Is there any other questions today, dear ones?
I have a question. I don't know if it's important, but the last few nights I've had this inner vision of stroboscopic light, flashes of images and stuff coming up, and for some reason I felt inclined to ask about it. I don't know what it means.
Please discuss more of these visions that you are experiencing.
It's like colors coming out, for example, red and orange colors, It's like several images per second. Sometimes it's like flashes of images. I don't remember every detail about it, but it's happened a couple of times to me. I don't know if it means anything.
D1. Understand that you are starting to connect with the multiverse of you, to the unified field, to the field of all that is. And understand, even though you might not be able to conceptually understand how you connect, you are multidimensional. You have the ability, and so do all others, to tap in to the multidimensional reality of all that is. Other lives, parallel realities, energies of all that is. You specifically have, we would say, an ability to connect to the energies of emotions, to frequencies, and understand that this being able to connect, you are picking up the waves of light and sound, and they reflect to you in terms of colors, another vision. So understand here that this is part of the alchemy process for you, because all emotions have a frequency. And you are starting to see and tap into more of the, we would say, the physical representations of frequency in your perceived reality. Because everything has a field, everything has a frequency. And because everything has a frequency, everything has a sound, everything has a color, a ray of light that attributes to this. And of course, you may not be able to see this in the human eye, because all these different experiences and manifested, you would say, insights, experiences of these frequencies exist in different realms of existence. And the human being, we would say, is not able to fully pick up on all the different aspects of frequency. But understand you have unique abilities where you are more sensitive to this. And the collective and large, we would say, because of the collective journey, you are now activating more of your collective abilities for you to perceive more of the nuanced frequencies. And this is why we ask you to embrace all emotions, to embrace and to feel and open your awareness in the present now, to sit and feel frequencies. Emotion is a frequency. To be able to open yourself up to the perception of what it feels like, how you experience it in a tangible way, in a visual way. Frequencies are all around you, and everything is happening all at once. All your multidimensional realities is all occurring simultaneously. And the collective is opening themselves up to tap into this stream. And it's because of your frequency where you are perceiving this, because you have raised your frequency, your vibration to such a point where you can tap into this realm of existence, the awareness. Because understand, you are all traveling the multiverse and experience all the lives at once. But understand your dimensional reality because of your focus, because of the level of vibration, let's just say. Some of you cannot perceive the totality of who you are. It's because of the human conditioning, let's just say, and the human, we would say, level of awareness in terms of duality. But as you know, the collective is expanding, activating more of your cosmic DNA. The light structures is shifting, as you know, and it's activating more of the dormant DNA within you, the light structures within you. So the collective is starting to awaken to who they truly are in their multidimensional reality. and the God self reality, but also the God oneness reality. Understanding the interplay between individualization and oneness, and how that is represented in your reality experience. So for you to have these abilities just shows the level of awareness you have and how far you have come in your journey of raising your frequency by transmuting the shadow self, by you being able to elevate your consciousness, by you consciously choosing to let go and surrender and addressing what needs to be resolved within you to get to this level of awareness. And you have done that. And you are now starting to see what the collective will see. So understand you can harness these experiences. The more you surrender, the more you have a state of curiosity, the more you have a state of letting go of attachments to what it means for you, attachments in how you should work with it, and just let it speak to you. Let yourself be guided through this experience. Because it is frequency, even though it's represented to you in visions and colors, it also has a consciousness, or frequency has a consciousness. It is source. Everything has a consciousness. Everything has a source code. And there are many different, I would say, levels of understanding here. But all you need to know is that this is for you to explore further. So we encourage you to explore it on a deeper level. We're opening your curiosity by then being able to open yourself to feel what does the color feel to you. Being able to really embody that frequency and being able to get a sense and understanding of all the nuanced aspects of that frequency. And for you to do that is to feel it. And this is why we encourage all of you, whenever you are on the journey of transmuting and alchemizing your experience here in reality, it is for you to embrace and embody all your emotions, whether that is fear, or whether that is one's based in joy and love, because that is how you embody the soul lessons. That is how you see the gifts within it. And that is how you create alchemy. This is how you expand your consciousness. It's not about ignoring emotions or experiences. It's about embracing that, embodying it, to be able to see the magic within it. And you are now starting to see that magic, and how wonderful it is that you are starting to see more of who you are and who you are in the greater reality of oneness.
Thank you.
Is there any more questions today, dear ones?
Hi. So I guess I'll just ask, I've been really tired the last several days. And I was curious if it might be from ascension symptoms, because it's also affecting kind of my experience, my living experience. Like, how do I explain that? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm just kind of numb, a little bit numb, tired. And so it affects my perception a little bit. Is that ascension symptoms?
Understand, you one, that you are shifting. You are moving to a higher realm of awareness, so to speak. You have labeled this a new dimension. And along the way, you may feel temporarily, we would say, in an in-between place. And as you are in this in-between place, so to speak, in between dimensions of awareness, of frequency, your body goes through a rebalancing play. Your body goes through different, we would say, activations and certain changes to, we would say, to embody the new frequency in all aspects of your physical representation and physical reality, because you see there is no separation. If you want to exist in a higher level of frequency, a higher level of awareness, then your body also must match that frequency. And this is why you experience what you call as ascension symptoms. And we would say that people experience this differently because of the process of what they are going through, what they are purging and what they are activating within them. So understand there are some more, we would say, general experiences, but there are also nuanced ones. So understand that you are currently experiencing this shift within you. It is because your body is just adjusting to this new frequency that's being activated within you. But understand that these higher realms of dimensions is already within you. You are just manifesting that higher dimension within your now reality because of your frequency, you see. So understand that for you, we would say, as you move through the evolution journey, some of you, we would say, jump to, we would say, higher dimensions. And because some of you choose to do this in a faster pace, so to speak, even though time is an illusion. For those of you who raise your frequency in we would say, a short amount of human perceived linear time, there is more, we would say, equilibrium that takes place within the energy structures and the physical structures of who you are in your body itself in this reality. And this is why you feel the physical effects. If you were going, we would say, in terms of linear time, if you were evolving in a slow pace, so to speak, you would not feel the changes as so. But because you have let go of so much, because you have surrendered so much to the power within you and the love that is within you, and because you have physically been love and oneness in action by you practicing your compassion and love in action, by you consciously training your focus to be the God perspective, for you to align your perspectives to that of God, to source, to oneness, your frequency has increased to such a point where you're now activating that high awareness within you. So celebrate this stage of your journey, dear one, but listen to your body also. This is common for many of you, that your body, as it changes in its physical representation, you would say your body needs rest and your body requires connection. But understand your body is perfect. Your body is absorbing what it needs to be absorbed, is activating exactly what needs to be activated. But we would say if you want to enhance this experience, you can do so by tuning into the intelligence of your body, intelligence of what is going on within you. You do this by going within. Open your awareness and allow yourself to speak to the intelligence of your being. You can do this. Ask yourself what is required in this moment for you to have the energy and vitality return into your being, and listen to the answer. We would say there might be some resistance there in you opening yourself up to ask the question for you to receive the answer, especially when there is a certain processes in place, so to speak, because of the frequencies and shifting within you. You might feel temporarily, we would say, blocked. And if this is the case, it is, we would say, an intelligent way for your body to focus in the present now, for you to take care of you, to nurture you in the present moment, for you to unplug, so to speak, for you to connect with other aspects of you, to connect to the planet that is an expression of you. For you understand that when you connect to Gaia, to Mother Earth, to the planet, you are connecting to, we would say, a heightened power source of you because you are of the planet. So in terms of ascension symptoms, when you can consciously connect to the planets, connecting to the elements, connecting to Gaia, you are connecting to you. And as she is a higher expression of you, you are an extension of her. You can receive further grounding activations through conscious connection, through opening your heart. And these energies that she gives off can help you ground into the physical reality and can help you in easing in the ascension symptoms. But understand that this experience is one to be celebrated. So take time in celebration to honor where you are in this journey.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions today, dear ones?
I have a question. In the last few weeks, it seems like there's been an unusual amount of unrest in my country, which is in this case Sweden, and I have a feeling that it's changed quite rapidly, become bad, so to speak, quite fast, and been riots and killings and all kinds of seemingly horrible stuff. I'm not sure why it seems like it's changed so fast and why it's so there's a lot of negativity, I think, coming up.
Understand, dear one, that the collective is shifting. Because you're an extension of the planet, you hold a certain frequency as a collective in different, would say, parts of the world, different parts of Gaia, just like you. Of course, the intelligence of all that is becomes the microcosm of the macrocosm. So understand, when you see a collective, we would say, shift, whether it is in a country, whether it is a Pacific region, whether it is within a particular family system, understand it serves a purpose. Understand it serves to be a catalyst for healing, a catalyst for expansion. And before the expansion comes, before the love comes, what often comes first is the perceived chaos. It is the shadow self of a country, of a region, of an aspect of a collective. So understand that different countries hold different frequency. They hold a unique aspect of the collective consciousness. And this is stemmed from the collective beliefs, which is, we would say, nurtured by certain society conditions and expectations that we would say that exist in a specific country or we would say governmental system. And understand, because you exist physically in this realm, you are tuned into that collective frequency. So understand that collective frequencies are like radio signals, and you pick them up. And because you are physically in that, we would say, in that place, your antenna picks up the highest frequency of what is going on in that country, even though we would say someone on the other side of the world, someone whose antenna, so to speak, is finely tuned, can also pick up into that chaos and feel that. And this is why many of you feel shifts within the collective. But understand, you are there for a reason. Understand, it's not by accident that you chose to be born in your country. In fact, no one is born in a country by accident. It is all predetermined. There is a reason for this. Understand, by you being the light, you can directly affect, even though you directly affect the collective consciousness, as we discussed, because you are all plugged into the collective consciousness. when you can be the light, when you can embody the love of who you are, you immediately affect those in your vicinity. That could be the family system and those in your country. So understand the shifts that you are feeling is a catalyst. And even though you perceive chaos, it is a purging, so to speak, because the collective is shifting. What happens is that certain aspects of consciousness, we would say the collective identity, the collective mind in certain areas, the collective ego, so to speak, wishes to hold on to the old, because by holding on to the old, it is safe. They feel more controlled if they can hold on to the past, if they can control their reality. But understand that the more resistance that occurs, the more chaos will continue. But understand once they process what is going on, they'll get to a level of understanding. And this is experienced in a collective and also in an individual sense. So understand the resistance of change is represented in chaos on a greater level. The resistance of change. You cannot deny change. You can try not to change, but change is inevitable because the collective is shifting. And this is the resistance of the change. And when there is resistance, trying to hold on to the new, onto the old, we would say, trying to, we would say, be resistant to moving into the new, because there is a lot of unknown elements and people's perceived own belief systems on how this will affect them, and their identity becomes further activated, we would say. So understand that it is a network of frequency, a network of beliefs, but understand it all serves a greater purpose to create expansion. So when you see chaos in a particular area of the world, understand that this is part of we would say, the purge. It is a part of the healing process to let go of the old, to bring into the new, to bring a higher state of love, higher frequency into that area of the world. And this in turn assists in the collective frequency. For you are one. This is another aspect of oneness. What you perceive to be a separate country is in fact connected to the greater consciousness of all individuals in this world. And this is why when you see raw, for instance, it affects your consciousness because you are connected. And this is why in previous conversations, we say that the act of compassion can assist all others on the other side of the world, or in your own country, within your own family, within your own inner circles. Love. There is no boundaries. But isn't it interesting that you are now seeing contrast, chaos in different parts of the world? Can you see how this is not by accident? But it's about you seeing beyond the chaos. You seeing it, how it's serving a higher purpose. And even though you might not be able to have clarity on what you can do to assist in this process, by you being the light, by you radiating love and compassion, by you opening your perspectives to see the God in all others, to see the oneness in all others, to see all others that are in suffering, that are the victims, that are even the perceived perpetrators, by you being able to see yourself in those others, by you being able to perceive that they are a reflection of you, you open your consciousness, you further your expansion potential, and you raise your frequency to such a point where you create more, we would say, beneficial effect in the collective consciousness. Because you raise your energy, you raise your frequency. The more you radiate love, the more what you perceive to be positive change comes. So understand, the world is awakening to who you are. As we have discussed, The world is shifting. The collective, the human collective is shifting. You are moving from the carbon-based structures to the rainbow light body structures, to the crystalline structures. Understand there cannot be separation. For you to shift the biology is for you to shift the consciousness. For you to shift the consciousness is for you to shift the biology. The structures of the representation of who you are manifest in this reality. So for you to embody these shifts, you would say there is a purging that takes place for you to transmute those density frequencies and emotions and structures within you to be able to have that biological shift within you, to allow more light in, to allow you to radiate more love and light, you see. So this is a necessary part of the collective awakening in your terminology. Yes, you as a collective have gone through much contrast, but this is because you chose great expansion, you chose evolution, and you are in the middle of it. You are at the forefront of human evolution. And this is why you're experiencing so much contrast in your reality, in your greater experience of the human collective here in worldwide events, because you chose to expand. You chose to choose love. And this is how you move through these events more smoothly, is for you to choose love, for you to choose acceptance, for you to choose compassion, for you to be love in action. By understanding that everything serves a purpose, by understanding there are no accidents, by understanding there are no victims and there are no perpetrators. It is a perfect dance of creation, of expansion. It is the catalyst of creation. You exist in a polarity system. For you to expand in a polarity system, there requires a catalyst until you get to the point of frequency where that catalyst becomes more softer, where the contrast between fear and love becomes more blurred, where the contrast is softened to such a point where we would say there is less triggers, let's just say. The triggers become less intense. And you start to really understand and embody the truth of who you are, that you are the universe, that you are the unified field, that you are consciousness itself, that you are not separate from consciousness. You are consciousness. And because you are consciousness, you pick up the frequencies of all the consciousness all around you, within you. You are the field. You are the code. You are source. You are just having experience of polarity, of duality. So understand the evolutionary pathway here is for you to refocus to the God perspective, to the oneness perspective, not just in your perceptions, but also to be that in action. That's how we would say, heighten the frequency and manifest more conditions that represent love and freedom and oneness and unity. It is to be that love in action, to be oneness in action. So what can you do? But understand that these action steps may not be bold. It might be just for you to be the light for others, for you to have an inspired conversation with someone you know or a stranger, because you do not know the ripple effect. But it's all part of the great expansion of humankind, and how wonderful it is that you are here in the middle of it. You are all here in the middle of this great evolution because of how powerful you are, because of how advanced you are, because you have all the abilities within you to manage the contrast and to expand from it. For you to expand from it is you to be non-resistant to what is occurring, to understand the higher perspective, for you to trust the intelligence of the higher will, of the universe, of God, of source, of you. You might not be able to understand the reasons why, And for some of you, you're not meant to know the intricate details of why things occurred. But if you can hold that higher truth, that everything happens for a reason, there's a higher mechanism that's taking place here behind the perceived chaos. That in fact, it's elevating the collective consciousness. Look what is happening in countries where there is war. There are people from all over the world that is sending their love to that area of the world. And that prayer, that love that is being sent, that compassion is being felt, is expanding that region of the world, that collective, and that itself creates a ripple effect throughout the greater collective, again, raising the collective frequency. So can you see the polarity that you experience as an individual, as fear and love is also experienced in the greater collective? And this is why there are worldwide events, and events that occur in a greater collective, we would say. Everything is a microcosm of the macrocosm. Everything is a macrocosm of the microcosm. As above, so below, there is no separation. Everything is a mirror of itself. Duality.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions today, dear ones? Understand, dear ones. We understand that you have struggled. We understand that you have felt limited. But understand that these are experiences that were wanted because it is part of the polarity system that allowed you to be elevated and expanded into more love. It is a catalyst. It is all it is. But understand you do not have to suffer from these experiences. And of course, you may not be able to avoid all negative emotion until the collective is at a point where they do not need this level of polarity, of duality. But until then, you have the power to ease through the contrast with more ease, with more joy, with a greater sense of freedom. You have that choice because you have the choice to choose love, to choose compassion. No one has control over you. You always have the power of shifting your beliefs. And that is where the power lies. This is where you remember your innate freedom state. This is where you remember your innate joyful state. It is a combination of shifting the perspectives and the beliefs, but also tapping into the felt love, for it is the power of emotions that propels your expansion. It is the energy of motion. If you want to expand, if you want to see the manifested conditions of what you prefer, then you need to embody and work with your emotions, work with the felt experiences, feeling them within your heart, embodying them. And we understand that sometimes embodying some emotions can be difficult. But understand if you can shift your perspective, that is just a visitor, that is just a shadow self. It's just an aspect of you that needs your love. If you can shift your perspectives to fear itself, you will remember true freedom, because fear will no longer have control over you. You will no longer be fearful of fear. You will then start to embrace all experiences, all emotions. It is then you become truly limitless. It is here where you will no longer be bound by your belief systems. It is here where you remember and embrace your God state of being. It is a process of letting go of the limits you've placed on yourself, the conditionings that you've placed on yourself and on others. When you can surrender to the universe, to your higher you let more love in. So choose love. Choose joy. It is there. When you can surrender to the flow. When you shift your perspectives, the joy, the innate joyful state will be remembered by you. The love will be remembered by you. That blissful feeling that you seek will be there, will be experienced. That is who you are. It is your innate state of being. You have that power. You've always had this power because you are God. You are source. You are one. And it is with such love that we come through today to remind you of your power, to remind you of your innate state of being. Until next time, farewell.